Something, guys. What do you think? Deep breath reference. Hello, I'm James Wilson.
And I'm Matthew Rowney.
And here on Addicts Reviews, yes, we had been waiting 8 months, yes, since Christmas 2013, where we got to see Matt Smith's Doctor regenerate into Peter Capaldi's Doctor right before our very eyes in a very split second. Oh, sneeze regeneration, yes, that's you. But yes, after those 8 months, finally Deep Breath aired this Saturday.
Yes, so it might feel like you've waited 8 months for our review. Sorry about that, but it's finally here. So here is our review of Deep Breath.
Shush and enjoy. Well then, Matthew, this review is definitely something very special. We have reviewed a hell of a lot of episodes in our time on this channel, but quite a lot of the times it's just been us using up time, you know, it's just been us, you know, just like reviewing episodes just for the sake of reviewing them. But this review, I feel, is very important to us.
It's the first review where we've actually had during a series.
Yeah.
We started the channel after Name of the Doctor, so we've only really had the 50th and Time of the Doctor. So it's the first time we can sit here in the midst of a series and review an episode.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Feels good.
And the fact that we're probably the last people to bring out a review.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. TARDIS, and he barely does stuff now, so he's mostly working on his movie channel right now. So the fact that we've brought out a review after him, it's a bit embarrassing, really. But yes, now we will be reviewing Deep Breath, and my God, what an amazing episode. Peter Capaldi just sold me straight away. But first, let's talk about the opening, and what a better way to grab your attention than a dinosaur roaring at you.
Yeah, I thought the dinosaur worked well, but I just have a little part of me that just feels a little let down.
Me too.
I don't want people to think I'm a moaner and stuff and nitpicking, but I don't know if I'm the only person who, once again, when I saw a dinosaur, expected a bit more. It was nowhere near as bad as dinosaurs on a spaceship dinosaurs. It was much better because it was an actual dinosaur that looked like an awesome dinosaur.
Yeah.
But apart from the clockwork droids using the dinosaur for their own good and for their own ship, it didn't have that much importance. I mean, I get the TARDIS travelling in it, and I thought it was funny. The TARDIS, you know, choking the dinosaur, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I maybe expected a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think what a majority of it was, because in this episode there was a hell of a lot of references to the past Doctors, past episodes, just quite a lot of the past 50 years, and that's to be expected. So I think that a majority of this, the whole dinosaur thing, was meant to be based on Invasion of the Dinosaurs, but which was the third Doctor story, which I haven't seen yet, and again, not too keen to watch. But I do agree with you. I think that although it does just seem like a pointless nostalgia fest right there for a dinosaur there in rampant in London, but I do get what you mean. It does seem a bit pointless, the dinosaur.
Yeah. Before we talk about Peter Capaldi and his post-regenerative trauma, I just want to clear up. What are your thoughts on the new title sequence?
Oh,
I hate the theme tune.
Oh my God, I've warmed up to the opening titles because, of course, the opening titles were leaked before they were actually revealed. So the fact that I knew what was coming was quite good. So
based on fan as well.
Yeah, and the fact that I've watched it so many times now, I do like the new title sequence.
Like the clockwork.
The clockwork, the cogs, and the clock faces and stuff like that. I do like that. That's a really nice effect, and the fact that a fan has made them, it kind of gives us inspired from a fan. Yes, I think they did take on the fan as a consultant while making it, but yes, the theme tune, it's the worst theme tune that they've had ever.
Yeah,
like ever. I mean,
it's whiny and it doesn't have the oomph.
It doesn't have that sort of flat. I know it is incredibly flat. I didn't like the. What I liked was that the theme tune started over the opening. Yeah, that's what I liked. You know, when someone's talking and it just goes like that, and then it starts. That comes before the actual title sequence starts. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I liked that because it gave the show a lot more sort of tension, and it gave it some sort of build. But this, it was just incredibly flat. It was just went right down.
Sounds like a whiny cat.
It does.
Strangled.
It really does.
But enough of that. We're gonna have to deal with that. It's going to be in every episode for the rest of the series.
Yes.
So, but what? Obviously, we've got to talk about Peter Capaldi, the post-regenerative trauma.
He
pulled it off so well.
He did. I mean, it is. I mean, we all knew Peter Capaldi was going to be amazing. I mean, obviously we didn't because we were obviously our bad reaction. I mean, if I were to go back in time, and just meet that version of ourselves who reacted to Peter Capaldi like that, I'd want to change it.
Yeah,
really, I would. Yeah. Little Whovians Reborn hint there for you. Even in our Doctor Who review, we're still referencing our own fan film. Yes,
so
guys. Yes, we are. But yes, Peter Capaldi's first appearance, we all knew he was going to be amazing. That is possibly the best reaction to a post-regenerative Doctor that I have ever seen. I mean, like, ever. I mean, that he reacted in the way that I would love every Doctor to react like.
He was just bonkers.
He was so manic, and his eyes helped in that. His eyes helped the insanity, but at the same time, he wasn't just insane. He literally needed help. Like, he looked like he was actually in pain at times with his regeneration. He actually looked like he was actually like sickened by this regeneration a little bit, and like he was ill from it. So Capaldi's acting shined through from the very first word he said. Shush.
Oh god, it was brilliant. I like the fact that it slowly went through the episode as well.
Yeah.
Like in the Christmas Invasion, the Doctor was just asleep,
Yeah.
and then he just woke up and boom, he was the new man.
Yeah.
And in the 11th hour, there was a little bit of craziness, but he was a pretty easy transition. But you could tell this was a lot more difficult because it was a new cycle as well. But I like the way that it kind of went through the episode. He slowly got to grips, and then he had that Doctor moment, which was amazing. Apart from that, I want to talk about the scene where he actually chose, where he was talking about choosing his face, which had Liz Sladen's husband.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, do you think we should talk about it in sort of order of the episode and get to that?
I've got next.
And get to that. Oh, all right. Well, it's just that I've got the dynamic between the Doctor and Clara. The dynamic between the 12th Doctor and Clara shines through straight away. Their new dynamic and chemistry is just absolutely brilliant in this episode, and I think you'll agree. Clara has more of more character traits and more of a character development in this episode than she has so far in her entire run. Yeah, I think.
Apart from Capaldi, I mean, Capaldi has to get a star of the show, but it would have been Jenna.
Yeah, not, it is in a way the screen time between Capaldi and Jenna was shared brilliantly, I think, and I don't think that they could have done that with a usual 45-minute episode. I think a feature-length episode really did help with with establishing the new dynamic between the Doctor and Clara. And as I suspected, and as I said in the preview last week, it is a character piece, and I think it's the Doctor getting to know himself, not just discovering himself, but also questioning himself, as you were getting to before, and also Clara getting to know him, and just everyone getting to know this new man. So although it involves the Doctor, it's sort of about everyone else getting to know him.
Yeah, it was very, very well done, definitely. And I was going to talk about the Doctor and Clara's chemistry when they got to that restaurant scene.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about when he said that he'd chosen his face, because that was a nice reference to Carchilius and other people as well.
Oh, yes.
I thought that was a nice scene because he was just truly insane, and this was when he first saw his face.
Yeah.
He noticed his accent. It had Liz Sladen's husband in there as well, which was fantastic. So I thought that scene was brilliant. I think he needed that scene.
Yeah, a beautiful reference to Tom as well.
Yeah, where he saw himself and then obviously noticed that he had lines and that he was older as well. And I like the fact that during that scene as well, where Clara and Vastra had that like real bit of tension. Where I loved that scene. Although it dragged, and I'll say this later on, I thought that this episode didn't have to be as long as it was, but I'll get to that later. But I love that. I love the way Vastra said that the reason why he's been so young since the Time War is because he wants to be accepted.
Yeah.
But now he knows that the Time War's over, so he can be himself.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've said since he was announced, what you see is what you get with this Doctor. I've always said that because, there's no hiding behind a scarf or a fez.
No.
What you see is what you get, and he is basically showing the Doctor inside. on the outside now.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Yeah,
that scene.
he's definitely a much more outward Doctor, like John Pertwee was, and like the Sixth Doctor was at times. So I do think that this Doctor is definitely sort of came out of his shell since the day of the Doctor. So that's definitely had an effect on him. And what I also loved about that alley scene was that he wasn't just discovering his body. He was actually questioning it. He actually thought that maybe he subconsciously chose that face. Like maybe he was subconsciously telling himself something. Like maybe he was telling himself, "You're free now." You know, you're sort of, you know, he wasn't just discovering, he was seeing, and he was questioning his body. He was questioning the regenerative process, and that's something Matt didn't do. We're going to be doing this a lot in this review, you know, comparing it to the previous New Doctor story, which compared to Deep Breath, I can see now that the 11th Hour, although it was brilliant, all it seemed like to me was that the 11th Doctor was just running around a village with Amy following him around like a dog.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that compared to Deep Breath, that was what the 11th Hour seems like to me. The Deep Breath just had a much more sort of intricate and a much more sort of, pardon the pun, deep sort of philosophical way of dealing with regeneration.
It's definitely the best post-regenerative episode I think we've ever had.
Oh.
Now we can talk about the scene in the restaurant.
Oh.
Because I thought it was just the scene with the clockwork robots as well. I mean, I thought they were just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, could you just tell through watching this episode how dark the tone was?
Oh,
I just thought the soundtrack was amazing.
It was. And
so eerie.
Yeah, and I don't think I've actually established this on screen, actually, like in a YouTube video. But I will say that there was not I Am the Doctor to be heard. I loved I Am the Doctor. It was a great theme for Matt Smith's era. But if I Am the Doctor was to be heard anywhere throughout that episode, I'd go and punch Murray Gold in the face. Yeah. Because I am the Doctor. It's done now, you know. And Murray Gold played that to death. He did. I mean, I Am the Doctor was replayed. It was remixed.
He butchered it in the end.
He did. I Am the Doctor. It was just dun 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 dun
every
dun
episode,
dun. Every episode. This always happened. You know,
I'm surprised he didn't go to bed just like on dun 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 dun, dun like in his dreams.
I know, it was just remixed constantly, and he did play it to death. So the fact it's a completely new soundtrack for Capaldi, I think, is incredible.
It sounded so good.
It did.
It really did. Now I want to talk about the scene underground, because the Doctor left Clara, and this shocked me. We've always guessed that he will be a lot darker, but this really took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever questioned the Doctor before. Even as the War Doctor, I didn't question him as much.
No.
But this, I think this is the darkest he's ever been, because it's the first time I truly ever questioned if he is actually the Doctor.
Yeah. What
if this is how he actually is, leaving her behind? I could not believe it.
I know. It's just it was really quite a wake up call. It was there were episodes, you can see the entire of the 12th Doctor's era in this one episode. You can see the things he's going to do, the lengths he's going to go.
He's
to
not
possibly
going to wait for you. You've got to kind of keep up with
him. You've got to keep up. He's not going to, even for his best friend, he's not going to, you know, grab his arm out and die for you. You know, he's got the rest of the universe to worry about. So, you know, he will leave you behind. And that was something that, like you said, really did get me, and I was doubting him. But at the same time, he definitely, you could see through that, and by the end of it, you could definitely see he's the Doctor.
Yeah.
Which brings us to your Doctor moment, Matthew.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to ask you this. Like in the Christmas Invasion, the 10th Doctor had that moment where he opened the TARDIS doors and said, "Did you miss me?" The 11th Doctor had that moment on the rooftop with the Atraxi. For you, what was your Peter Capaldi moment?
Well, it was when he had Clara's back. Like the entire scene was just so well written. You know, with the clock, with the half-faced man.
The entire episode was well written.
I thought the half-faced man was amazing.
He was.
The guy who played him, and I can never remember.
Peter Fernando.
It's either Fernando or Fernandando, I don't know. But yeah, his performance, like the way that he jutted robotically, was amazing. He could be a mime artist.
He did.
They did so well with the CGI in his face. You could just tell Doctor Who's got one hell of a budget now since the 50th. But the scene was so intense when he was about to kill Clara, and we really thought, oh my God, where's the Doctor?
Yeah.
And she was saying, if he is still the Doctor, he will have my back.
Yeah.
And I thought he didn't.
Yeah.
But then when he pulled her back and he ripped the face off and was just like, right then, you rubbish robots from the dawn of time. Oh, He was running around, or just being the cleverest in the room, like he always is.
He really was.
That was my moment.
I mean, yeah, it was really brilliant. And coming back to the half-faced man, I think it was definitely a very steampunk sort of look to it.
It was the perfect villain for Capaldi.
It was the perfect villain for not just that, but for the Victorian times as well.
It did.
It set the tone for the darker tone that Moffat and the rest of Doctor Who is going for. It was a great first villain for Capaldi because it definitely fit with that certain Doctor, and like this Doctor, the half-faced man was creepy, sinister, and I just think he was an amazing first villain for Capaldi. I think it was amazing.
Now we can talk about your Doctor moment.
Yes,
which was on the ship.
Yes, as the restaurant had turned into some sort of balloon thing. Yes, and this was my Doctor moment for me. That scene in which it was the entire scene that just. It clicked onto me, that just made me think, my God, this man is the Doctor and I am going to adore him. It was just that scene in the restaurant where he was confronting him. We all know that at the end of the episode, the Doctor's got to confront the big baddie of the episode, and it's all got to be big and brilliant. And for this was the moment for me where he was confronting this villain and telling him how much he loved the human race and how much and I love that moment where he just had him pinned to the door. And he was just saying, do not make assumptions as to how far I will go to protect them, because I've already came a very long way.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's showing his love for humanity still, the fact that he still loves humanity sometimes, especially with that scene with Clara where he abandoned her, that it might not seem at first that he didn't love the human race, but he does, he adores them, and he shows that in that moment. And the fact that he was possibly willing to throw a man off the balloon was honestly, that was brilliant. For me, that was my Doctor moment. And
I just love how they had so many similarities as well.
Yeah.
Like when you love the mirror, when they held the mirror up.
Oh my God, that was amazing. That was just one tiny little look, but it speaks volume. It really did. I mean, that moment where the Doctor was talking about brooms and if you change the handle and then the brush, is it the same brush? No, of course it isn't. So he was not only talking about this villain, but he was talking about himself as well. And the fact that he caught an over-shoulder shot of the half-faced man looking him in the mirror, and then there was that brilliant shot of Capaldi looking himself on the other side. And when the half-faced man put the mirror down, Capaldi just looked away from the half-faced man just a little bit, and then he just had that look in his face, just like, my God, that's me now, and you can tell at that particular moment, that scared him a little bit. He was a bit like taken back by it, like, whoa, my God, this is who I am. So, that moment spoke volume, and I loved that moment. Yeah, I did. I thought that was just so clever. The way that using the half-faced man to also be similar to the Doctor, it was quite an eye-opener. Yeah. We have to talk about the Vastra Jenny kiss, I say, with bunny ears. Because people have gone mad at the BBC for this. I know. I knew they would. I knew they would. I knew that the BBC would be getting complete and total complaints from parents alike for that certain kiss. It was kiss. It was not a kiss. They were sharing oxygen. Have you ever seen people do CPR? Exactly. It was technically the kiss of life. Just because it has kiss in the title doesn't mean it's actually a freaking kiss. It's a CPR technique. Jenny was possibly going to fall down and faint, and that is her wife. That is her wife, although she's a lizard and that's a human. Yeah. And it's Moffat. And it's Moffat, true. But they were married, and it was also a lovely moment showing affection, but at the same time, it was a CPR technique. It wasn't like they were shoving their tongues down each other's throats. Exactly. It's like, it's not like, what, were your kids going like that? Ma'am, I want to turn into a lizard and I want to snog everyone. Honestly, your kid isn't going to be that fucked up, right? The fact that you're going to let them watch the episode in the first place, right, is bad enough. So don't blame the TV show, blame yourselves. Frickin' hell. I mean, what if Jenny collapsed and she was like pressing on her chest giving a CPR? Would you accuse her of feeling her boobs? It's the same thing. It's CPR. It's living each other's life. Exactly. So there's that side. Yeah. Now I want to ask you a question. Did the Doctor push him? Did he push him? I'm so glad that they didn't confirm it. I'm so glad because it's left for us to establish whether or not this man would actually be capable of this. Because of course we were faced with him abandoning Clara and so on. So we were faced with a hell of a lot of questionable things from the Doctor, and this really did pose the question: is he a good man? and really, I don't think he pushed him.
Either way, though, he still let him jump.
He did.
So it's dark either way.
Yeah,
he either pushed him or let him jump.
Yeah.
And when you saw him impaled,
yeah,
wow.
I know, just that hat fall, and you could just see the camera rise up. And but in speaking of cameras, Ben Wheatley, amazing direction. Seriously, it came in brilliantly with the Victorian and darker overtones.
And he's directing Deep Breath. He's directing Into the Dalek as well.
Yes, he is, and honestly, can't wait for Into the Dalek if Ben Wheatley's directing it, really. But yes, I don't think he pushed him. I don't think. But yes, like you said, either way, he let him jump.
I know. It just really that was the kick in the teeth to me to kind of reassure me Doctor Who's getting darker.
Yeah.
When in Matt Smith's era would you see a guy impaled on a building?
Never.
And you just see the Doctor looking down and then he just looks at the camera. Like he's looking at us going, what do you think?
Yeah.
Did I push him? Oh.
Yeah, and the thought of that, the half-faced man gouging out the eyes of that fat guy who was just like...
It's always a fat guy.
Yeah, it's always a fat guy. But
so
yes,
you're screwed if you're
I know, honestly. He could, that guy couldn't have ran away, I couldn't. But anyway, oh God. But yes, just the idea of someone dying in Doctor Who, that's a breath of fresh air in itself.
That was a deep
breath. Because I know, exactly. So... well done. But yeah, I do think that someone dying in Doctor Who it's important, and the fact that death is back in Doctor Who, I like that.
Yeah. Now the final thing we're going to talk about, because we're going to completely ignore Missy.
Yeah.
She is a disgusting recycled Tasha Lem slut.
Yeah. And in the brilliant words of Tom Dix, what he called her was a slutty Mary Poppins. That is exactly what she is. Seriously, I just
won't learn with
him. And he won't. I mean, he spends the entire episode. He spends an hour and 15 minutes trying to clarify to people this is a different Doctor. Doctor Who's going for a different tone. And then you go and introduce us to a River Song Tasha Lem recycled bitch who will just turn out to be. And when she said boyfriend, that!
And he loves her.
And, oh my God, right, I'm not going to jump to conclusions because we've not even seen the Doctor flirt with her yet. We've not even seen an on-screen presence of them both together. So I'm not jumping to what the Doctor will react to her. But if the Doctor flirts with anyone in a lovable way, I swear to God, I will go down to Scotland, Cardiff, London, wherever the fuck Moffat is, and I will choke him the fuck out on his fat neck.
I will impale him on Big Ben.
Honestly, he will join the half-faced man and deal with Missy himself in the promised land.
It let it down. I mean, I know that's supposed to be heaven, and the final episode's called Death in Heaven. Oh, it's all going to be a nice connecting story. But yeah, nevertheless, it's just, she's going to be in the finale, and it just makes me... After such a good episode, it just kind of left me at the end just going, why?
A character that we're going to hate. I mean, but anyway, this is possibly a character review for in the future. So watch out, guys.
But let's end on a good note.
Yes.
Matt Smith's cameo. Beautiful.
It was. I mean, we didn't need that moment. Yes, the Doctor did quote the 11th Doctor saying Geronimo. Wasn't too happy about saying Geronimo, which is what I liked. But that phone call with Matt Smith was lovely. It clarified to Clara that this is the same man and that he should stay with him. So honestly, it was a lovely, beautiful moment.
What I loved about it most is that there's still going to be fans who are watching Deep Breath going, no, Matt Smith's my Doctor. I'm not going to like this Doctor. Meh, meh, meh. And I think this episode wasn't just about Clara, becoming familiar with him, because we see Doctor Who in the perspective of the companion. We always have.
Yeah.
So I don't think this episode was just for Clara getting used to him. It was for us getting used to him through
yeah.
Clara. And I think that phone call didn't just do Clara justice; it did all of us justice.
Yeah.
Because if there was anyone watching who was still very unsure of who he was, Matt Smith's cameo just kind of made everyone think. Yeah. He's still the same guy.
And anyone anyone out there who is still like, no, still don't like Peter Capaldi.
Then just stop watching.
Exactly. Then please stop watching.
Piss off. You're a fangirl. You're not a fan, you piss off.
All right.
No. If they're listening, they can piss off. Click off this video now.
Well, there's us lost a few subscribers.
No, but seriously, though, it was perfect because it kind of reassured all the fans that the 12 has 11's approval. And I think that is brilliant.
The fact that it sort of and Moffat did joke saying it was the fastest return ever, which it was, and some people have complained that it sort of undermined Capaldi's Doctor a bit, which I did agree with at first, but after seeing that moment,
the Capaldi's Doctor.
It did. It helped us to move it along, to help us move to actually accepting him as the Doctor. So it didn't undermine it; it enforced it.
Yeah.
I think.
So, conclusion. Deep Breath was a fantastic introductory story for the 12th Doctor, and arguably the best post-regenerative episode we've seen. The performances from everyone were brilliant, especially from Peter and Jenna. The 12th Doctor was brilliant as he slowly dealt with his post-regenerative trauma, as he and Clara had some brilliant scenes together showing great chemistry. Clara also had more character development in Deep Breath than all of Series 7 put together. The Clockwork Droids were amazing, a perfect creepy villain that helped the dark, creepy tone of the episode. Although there were parts of the episode which were unneeded, despite that some scenes such as the scene underground and the scene on the ship were incredibly intense. The ending with the cameo from the 11th Doctor was done perfectly, as it helped the transition from 11 to 12 for not only Clara but also for the fans. Overall, Deep Breath was a great taster of what's to come, showing the darker tone the show is heading in, with a fantastic brand new soundtrack and a perfect script. It introduced the 12th Doctor brilliantly with some great nods to the past. I have to say this is the best episode when it comes to the transition from one era to another, and I can't wait for more of this new, dark, unpredictable Doctor. And by the way, let's just forget about Missy, she's just awful. Overall, I'm going to give Deep Breath a 9 out of 10.
Brilliant. Deep Breath made me do exactly what the name of the episode suggests, and it introduces Peter Capaldi's Doctor brilliantly and has started his journey as the Time Lord in manic style. The Paternoster gang have not changed since we last saw them in the name of the Doctor, which can be considered a bad thing, but still, it was great to see them, and once again, Dan Starkey's performance as Commander Strax is comedy gold. Clara Oswald had more character traits and development in this episode than she had in her entire run so far as the companion, which I believe is down to her perfect chemistry with Capaldi's Doctor. You can see that they infuriate each other and bicker, but there's a sense of love still between them that can be seen through and through. Jenna's performance as Clara was pitch perfect, as we got to see her reaction to an older and fiercer Doctor, and as we can see, she struggles to control him. The music by Murray Gold is brilliant. There is no eye on the Doctor to be heard anywhere. The half-faced man had an essence of steampunk about him and is sinister and scary. The Doctor's confrontation with him as they float through London gave me chills and made Peter Capaldi the Doctor for me. The less we say about Missy and the ending, the better. Ladies and gentlemen, the Doctor is in. My rating is 9.5 out of 10.
So there you go, guys. There's our rating for Deep Breath. Don't forget to write a little conclusion of your own and your overall rating in the comments below.
So then, guys, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Matthew, Peter's right. I've never seen the point in beds.
No,
you know, it's
no.
just...
And by the way, before you ask, I'm not your boyfriend, right?
Yeah, alright.
I'm not your boyfriend.
Okay, good. I never thought you were.
Good. Good. I should commit that mistake, James.
More Deep Breath references.
We're going to be doing this all week.
Oh, yeah, we are. Forget that. We're going to be doing it for the next, like, another 11 weeks. So then, guys, we hope you enjoyed our review of Deep Breath.
Yes, like this video, subscribe for more Series 8 content, and also comment below your thoughts on Deep Breath. And also, join us back this Wednesday when we're going to be doing our 2,000 subscribers video.
Yes, definitely. Very much looking forward to that. And also Friday for our preview of the next episode, Into the Dalek.
Yes.
So then, guys, see you on Wednesday.